stream. I feel so like what is it?
Come
What
on,
is the word? Dang it.
optimizing. Work.
Me over here with a bat.
It streamed for 50 seconds.
Generate.
Now it's not streaming at all. I love this. It says I'm offline, but I'm literally not, though. Twitch, what is wrong with you, and why are you being such a jerk?
Oh.
I'm being birthed. Is that the doctor?
I'm sorry. What? That got caught on stream.
Screwdriver.
This
You
is
like my
bloopers
screwdriver?
reel right here.
You like my screwdriver?
No,
Okay,
it's
hang on,
disturbing.
I'm gonna mute my audio for just a second.
It's beautiful.
The frick, Jake. It's just
That's
a battery.
The screwdriver.
Oh, let's
That got
go.
caught on stream. That was so good. All right, so now I'm live. Everything's on. We're up and going.
We can't be
Okay,
dirty.
All right, everyone. No,
What are you
that's
talking
not
about?
part of the rules.
I'm never dirty.
All right, so
Sure.
here we go,
Talk
boys.
Gay men.
Alright, shut up. Everyone shut the
Why
fuck
is
up.
there a poof in your room?
Question.
Yes.
What's the name of the podcast? I forgot.
My podcast?
Yeah, your podcast.
The Drunken Mumblings.
No. I was
Oh,
wrong.
we should
No,
do
Village
the
Idiots is me
I
and
like
Trudy's.
that. It's Village.
Drunken Mumblings is this one.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm gonna quickly post in my Discord that I'm streaming
Well,
so that we get
Sam-
Wait,
rid
is
of
Village
watching.
Idiots already taken?
Yes.
Me, you, and
no. If
Dang
it,
it!
no, me and my friend already have Village Idiots as our VOD channel, and so that's what we're using as
Dang.
our thing. You're welcome
Jake,
to join, but I
Me,
don't
you,
know
and
how that
Sam
would go
play Fall
down.
Guys. Me, you, and Sam play Fall
Bunch of
Guys
people
while
who
John
barely
plays
know each
Rocket
other.
League. Jake
That's
Fall
alright.
Guy.
They love me. Everyone loves me.
Jake Fall Guy while we wait for John's complete.
Nobody knows you, Jake.
That's why they love me. Because if they knew me, they'd hate me.
Me, you, we guys, we
Alright,
play
okay,
Fall
Why
Guys.
boys.
did you deny that?
While John play.
Okay,
play
okay,
Rocket
okay,
League.
okay.
Told me or anything.
So for the podcast to be activated, I'm going to say something that like cues the start, right? So here's how this is going to go down. I'm going to bring up all of my wonderful topics. All right. And I'm going to ask you a question about the first one, and then we're going to lead from there. All right. So basically it's just I got to remember that there's going to be an intro theme, and I got to edit that together at some point.
Oh.
All right, everyone, here we go. Everyone shut up. All right, guys, listen.
What's up?
Shut up! Now I gotta start the queue over. Okay, hang on. All right, everyone, here we go. It's time. It's time. The Drunken Mumblings now begins. All right. So first
scared.
topic, first question for you guys. What have you ever heard of the Battle of Los Angeles?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, Jake, we know you have.
I'm the one who brought this up.
Yes, and you will now claim ownership to most of the topics for this
Yeah,
entire podcast.
because I know all the weird history stuff.
Yes. This is why I'm going to
Jake,
use
we
my
know you're mentally
muse.
ill.
Yes. All right. So
Yeah.
the Battle of Los Angeles. So I'm going to read to you what the wiki says, and then we're going to have fun making fun of this. All right. This is how we're gonna learn stuff at the same time. It's a really weird podcast.
Oh, history.
History. This is where we're going to teach the minority of people who actually care about this podcast really strangely detailed things about very, very small areas of topics in history or like random news things that are going on. Right now we're focusing on the Battle of Los Angeles. So I'm going to read off what this wiki says. I own none of these words. Don't copyright me, please. The Battle of Los Angeles, also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, is the name given by contemporary sources to a rumored attack on the continental United States by Imperial Japan and the subsequent anti-aircraft artillery barrage, which took place from late February 24th to early February 25th, 1942, over Los Angeles, California. The incident occurred less than 3 months after the U.S. entered World War II in response to the Imperial Japanese Navy's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, and one day after the bombardment of Elwood near Santa Barbara on February 23rd. Initially, the target of the aerial barrage was thought to be an attacking force from Japan, but speaking at a press conference shortly afterwards, Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox called the purported attack a false alarm. Newspapers of the time published a number of reports and speculations of a cover-up to conceal an actual invasion by enemy airplanes. So the history of this is it was, February 24th to 25th, 1942. It happened in Los Angeles. We knew that. There was 5 deaths, 3 in car accidents, 2 of heart attacks. That means there was no deaths from air attack. What?
No,
Wait,
no.
Alright, hold on. We're not done. We're not done. When documenting the incident in 1949, the United States Coast Artillery Association identified a meteorological balloon sent aloft at 1 a.m. as having started all the shooting, and concluded that once the firing started, imagination created all the kinds of targets in the sky, and everyone joined in. In 1983, the U.S. Air Force Office of Air Force History attributed the event to a case of war nerves triggered by a lost weather balloon and exacerbated, I don't know how you say that word, by stray flares and shell bursts from adjoining batteries.
I'm so confused.
So basically, they shot at nothing.
Reportedly shot at nothing, right?
But some people like to claim that it was aliens, and that's what I like to think, because that's just awesome.
Yeah, I love. Yeah.
So here's another interesting fact.
Yes.
So moral of the story is the government's trying to hide aliens from us.
Jake, we're not
Is
even
that
the
right?
first ones. Yeah, Jake, we're not even the first ones to come up with the UFO theory.
No, yeah, I know
That's what's so
that,
good.
but-
There's an entire page for this. Hang on. A photo published in the Los Angeles Times on February 26th, which is the day after this ended, has been featured in UFO conspiracy theories as evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation. They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on an alien spaceship. However, the photo was heavily modified by photo retouching prior to publication. Routine practice in graphic arts of the time intended to improve contrast in black and white photos. Times writer Larry Harnish noted that the retouched photo, along with the faked newspaper headlines, were presented as true historical material in trailers for the 2011 film Battle Los Angeles, which I'm actually interested in seeing now. Harnish commented, if the publicity campaign wanted to establish UFO research as nothing but lies and fakery, it couldn't have done a better job. So we start off with a random air attack that was sparked by what they believe to be a weather balloon. And we end with an absolute riot of fake news that they're not even sure how it spawned or why it spawned.
People.
So
Amen to
yeah, but listen, so here's something fun that we looked up right after that. Area 51 was made like 14 years after that incident.
So what you're saying is
my personal head, like, my personal theory.
Before.
I don't know if this has been like said before, but that's the reason Area 51 exists.
Yes. So we
14
came up
years
with
later, they had to find it, and they had to, they had to build the actual building, the facility to contain whatever the heck they got.
Wait, hang on a second.
And that's Area 51.
How much you bet? Let me see how long it takes on average.
How
build.
large is the facility when it was built? Is my
Yeah. How long? I'm gonna ask how long it took to build Area 51.
Jake, I love how half the time your face was just serious. Like,
okay,
there's no
everyone
chill
guess how
face.
long
You're
it took.
just
John,
serious.
don't say
Like,
it. John,
you were
don't say
ready
it.
for this. You wanted this story, and you wanted to talk about it
John,
legitimately.
don't say it yet. Everyone needs to guess how long it took to build.
Yeah.
Tim, you go first.
I'm saying,
I think it was placed there by aliens, so I think it took 20 seconds.
What?
I think aliens run Area 51. That's why they won't let us in.
Just like a year or not long, but I'm like, the government could just have been lying. It could have just been not public knowledge or whatever.
Yeah.
I would guess
they wouldn't have wanted people to know about.
I would guess
the place
1.5 years to 2 years.
Hang on, I'm going to look at.
I think my reason is the most valid. To be honest.
Yeah. Aliens built it so it took 2.1 seconds.
Oh my word. Okay.
A quarter of 1 penny.
Wait, I want to see
quarter
the
one.
UFO conspiracy theories for Area 51 once I get done with this. Okay, so I don't think there's security. Let's see.
Of how I could just see Sam's lips and his camera.
This is incredibly funny because I actually don't see a timeline of its build.
It's just
So
fat,
it
chubby
just
lips.
all we know is that it was finished and
There we go.
usable in
Back up.
1955 as Paradise Ranch. It wasn't even named Area 51. So
Paradise Ranch.
yes, which makes
Paradise
it sound
Ranch.
even more suspicious.
Right?
So
When is a Paradise Ranch?
what makes this so much more entertaining
Sounds like a sauce. Paradise Ranch.
is that you've got so
It does sound like
Area 51 has something in site history. It has one event that happened, and we all know the Storm Area 51 2019. That was so funny. But like,
Oh, yeah, let's go, bro.
2019? I could have sworn that was last month.
That was from
that was
2019.
2019. No. Anyway, so
yeah, it was actually a long time. It was just
let's look at the
weird.
UFO conspiracies.
Paul.
Hold on, I gotta do this.
No.
We gotta figure out what the frick kind of conspiracies people can come up with on UFO. Okay. I like how immediately as you open the UFO and other conspiracy theories page on Wiki, the first thing is a picture of two dudes holding a sign that says "Clap Alien Cheeks," and it was taken during the 2019 raid of Area 51. Hold on, you don't believe this? Hang on, I'm going to switch my stream over to the display really quick. This is genuinely what's going on. Hang on, let me get. Display capture. No, frick you. That's not what I want.
While we're all watching a stream. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm not set. It's not quite on yet, so we're gonna full screen you and then hit OK, and then I'm going to click on this. All right. So here we have the Area 51 wiki page. All right, so now I'm gonna scroll down to. Wow, frick! This is actually just gonna scroll past it. Here we go. No, no. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at this. Just look at what the frick is going on
What?
here.
Where? I don't see it. Where is it?
It's on my stream. You have to like my Twitch stream.
Okay, I have to go to your stream.
Like it genuinely just says this. Like who? Look at this
I'm trying to find
dude. Like what
Hold
the
on,
heck?
I'm trying to find Twitch.
God.
I'm lost.
These two dudes looks like so much of a chat.
This guy looks way too like part of this now.
I love how they
This
both
guy
just
is definitely only taking this photo so that they won't go through
their
the fences.
their aura gives off Chad.
This is so retarded. Oh, anyway.
Hold on, keep it on. I literally can't find Twitch on my phone.
Oh my god, you're so
There
sad.
it is. Okay, I found it.
Me over here already
So
got.
anyway, this is the photo that comes up immediately as you look
Dude,
at.
smirk. that one
Look at
dude
this
smirk.
dude.
I really
Just-
like. I really.
I love how this is just.
Also, this
This
guy
is-
right here in the background really do be having a good time. Just like look at this face. Like what the heck? This guy
Is
looks like
Bob-
he's just
By the way,
accidentally in there. What is this?
The
No.
fat chubby cheeks dude. He looks like isn't
Yeah.
Bob this like small one? That's like the small fat one from Minions.
I don't know. What the frick?
I can't remember. And then the other one's just like Kevin.
Anyway, so now let's look through the freaking these conspiracy theories. All right, so Area 51 has become a focus of modern conspiracy theories due to its secretive nature and connection to classified aircraft research. Theories include the storage, examination, and reverse engineering of crashed alien spacecraft.
Jeez.
That's a word, including materials supposedly recovered at Roswell, the study of their occupants, and the manufacture of aircraft based on alien technology, meetings or joint undertakings with extraterrestrials, because that sounds normal, the development of exotic and energy weapons for the Strategic Defense Initiative or other weapons programs, the development of weather control, that's rough, the development of time travel and teleportation technology. Y'all really do be like trying so hard for a TV show plot. Like, come on. Development of exotic propulsion systems related to the Aura program.
What if they are the
Activities related
origin
to the
of-
shadowy One World Government or the Majestic 12 organization. Yikes. That's rough. Many of these hypotheses concern underground facilities at Groom or Papoose Lake, also known as S4 location, 8.5 miles south, and include claims of transcontinental underground railroad system, a disappearing airstrip nicknamed the Cheshire Airstrip after Lewis Carroll's Cheshire Cat. What the?
Really, I really want these people to believe this.
Wait.
You're right.
Look at this
You're the
photo.
presence
No,
one right here.
look at the photo of this cat. The Cheshire Cat looks so janky. Who did this? That is so messed up.
It looks like the cat from like Alice in Wonderland.
It does. It actually does. That's upsetting.
It's just not purple.
Which
it's
briefly appears when water is sprayed onto its camouflaged
What the
asphalt
heck
and
is
engineering
that?
based on alien technology.
Oh my god!
It's the
What
cat
in the
from your
world?
nightmares.
I am so confused, yet so intrigued. What the heck? In the mid-1950s, civilian aircraft flew under 20,000 feet, while military aircraft flew under 4,000. Okay, that's all random, useless story. I just don't understand things like this. Like, who thinks up? It's like people literally will take anything and run miles with it. Like, it's so janked up at this point that
These
it's
people
just,
can't. They'll run like tens of miles with it.
yeah, it's so incredibly janked up. Anyway, that was a really good rabbit hole. All right. Yeah, so basically back to the original thing we were talking about, the Battle of Los Angeles, right? You got this whole conspiracy that like freaking they attacked something in the air that could have been a UFO. Like absolutely could have been a UFO. But who knows? But then Area 51 comes to exist not even a decade and a half later. And everything that surrounds Area 51 has always been alien related. You've never seen something normal from Area 51.
Hey, Area
It's
51
just too
created.
coincidental.
It is Area 51.
John, Area 51 created alien juice. What are you talking about? That's not alien related.
juice, what?
What is I really don't, but also do want to know what alien juice is.
It's just.
All right, let me regret this. Hang on, let me regret
I don't think I
this.
can say it on Twitch.
No. I want to look this up, and then if I choose to let this get into the oven,
Is this an actual thing or is just Timothy talking?
I'm
Because
looking this up. I'm
I
looking this
think
up.
it's just gonna be
No.
talking.
Oh my God! What the frick?
Sorry.
There's no way this is a real thing. I can't. There's no way.
Is it
What
real?
is this?
Did I actually accidentally?
Wait.
I thought it was just my mumbles.
What?
And there's no way you're actually right though.
There's a juice. Hang on. Now I want like actual facts on this. Hang on. Let me look through this. There's something called Gems Alien Juice Bar. This activity is based on the acids and aliens activity from the Book of Cabbages and Chemistry. What on earth? Then there's an actual drink involved. Wait, hang on.
What the heck are we? We started talking about freaking Battle of Los Angeles. Now we're talking about alien juice.
Yes.
Whatever the heck.
Listen, this is how podcasts work. There's never really a target. All right. But let's just
Searching his recipe.
let's just throw up some hypotheticals. All right. Oh yeah. By the way, alien juice is apparently some sort of energy drink. And I really hate this, because Timothy was right and wrong at the exact same time.
And it's kind of scary.
Yeah, no,
Jake,
this
what are you
can't be
doing?
right. No, I can't believe I found this. This just isn't right.
Why are you just clicking the P?
I love how
Do you get what I'm saying? What I'm implying?
No. Are you saying
I
take
need-
a piss?
No, what are you actually doing, Jake? I'm confused.
He's gonna type it in.
Pushing P.
Oh, he's
well, that's
pushing
what I
me.
said.
Anyway,
It was a stupid joke I wanted to do.
it was good enough for it to be caught, but not good enough for someone like me to catch it. Anyway, no, so yeah. Anyway, so we get through the Battle of Los Angeles and we get through all the alien conspiracies. It's still just absolutely janked up. But we were talking about the idea of mass hysteria, and this is how I'm going to transition this to the next topic.
Oh yes, please.
So they think that some of this was mass hysteria and that there was just a whole group of people that just saw a bunch of random crud because they, all hallucinated something at the same time. Whatever you want to go.
Well, with the war happening and they just gotten bombed by the Japanese, so
Mhm.
really the thought of it was already there.
Yeah.
And when you've got people will see stuff when you're shooting stuff up in the air, and like it's just
I gotta point out.
Yeah.
When I searched alien juice, this is one of the things that showed up. Alien juice recipe. Sorry,
alien juice recipes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's
What on earth?
Alien juice, no.
That's one of the images that showed up. Oh,
Okay. Anyway,
I
so
was alien juice. I think. I don't know.
I'm so
I'm
so
we
so
gotta do.
uncertain of what's going
This is what
on.
we gotta do. One of these times, we gotta
They
get the
slapped
recipe,
so
come
hard.
to one of our houses, and make this juice and try it.
Oh my god, I feel like this is a bad idea. Jake, what are you
This
doing?
is a bad idea, but we're going to do it.
Is that a
because Sam-
battery?
Hold on, I gotta
That's
block that there.
a
Real
good
quick.
This is my screwdriver. You like it?
Oh, okay. I was so confused.
Battery screwdriver.
Anyway, so you got, all this going on. Wow, my stream is lagging. Okay, well, that's not happening. Frick that. No, so you've got all this going on. And I think, mass hysteria, there's also the fear in the back of your mind that war's going on, so you can just about dream something up and believe it's true. But then comes the mass hysteria, which is basically the idea of a lot of people hallucinating something that they all agree is similar or the same.
I think I know where you're
idea.
headed with this.
So
I hope
next-
I'm right.
The next
Well, hold on.
topic. Hold on, what?
So, what do y'all think it really was? Y'all think it was just a weather balloon? Do you think?
Yeah,
it was
what
just
do you-
them
let's hear
being
you
crazy?
guys'
I
Dude.
definitely don't think it was a weather balloon, but I also don't think it was an alien.
I agree with everyone else. I think it's an alien.
I think it's an alien.
I think they arrived on this planet, and then 14 years later, they created
Have
Area
we-
I think
51.
it was some really big bird.
All right, I'm gonna deep
Yeah, there you
dive.
go.
Dinosaurs. It
Yeah,
was
Quetzalcoatl,
dinosaurs.
John.
This is
Quetzalcoatl.
this is literally they're creating Jurassic World, and remember in Jurassic World, I think it was the last Jurassic Park when things like got free, the birds got free. The first thing to escape the park were the birds.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
and that-
could have.
that's
and the
what's
first
It
thing
could
they
have
was
been a
John, was
freaking
the Quetzal.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah, it could have been a
And they
real
had to
they
shoot it
looked
down.
it up.
Dude, Jurassic
That's
World
what Area 51
was
really is. Came
was
it
it's
for,
based on a
for
true story.
dinosaurs.
Jurassic
For
World is
genetically
based on a true
engineered-
story.
true story of what
Beasts.
happened in the Los Angeles war.
Last Battle of Los Angeles, yeah.
That's what the Jurassic World movies are. The true story.
We've debunked the whole.
No, that's what Area 51 is really for. It's for containing
world.
dinosaurs.
They're housing dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Pretty
underground.
much, yeah.
What ain't aliens?
Absolutely.
Dinosaurs.
I mean, yeah, dinosaurs are basically aliens, so they're not wrong.
And hey, we're winners here. They can't prove it. We
They can't
they,
prove
no,
it.
you mean they can't disprove it?
They can't disprove.
Yeah, they
I don't
can't
care.
disprove it. No, okay, anyway, so
They
no,
do
deep dive,
disprove
deep dive.
it, but they
All
can't
right.
disprove it.
deep dive into what another random thing that this could have been. All right, because they said they think it was a cover up. All right, which means there was something like nefarious already kind of just going on. Anyway, but have we ever thought about what if this was like a legit like one of the they were genetically engineering something, right? And so they were trying to use it pretty much. It was the whole basic Jurassic World theme, genetic engineering. Yeah. No, shut up. I can't get
That's
copyrighted.
copyright.
I can't do that. No, we can't do that. No. But just
really
think about it.
bad
Just
for-
legit think
okay.
about this, right? You get the whole genetic thing. They let one free by mistake, and so they just fire it out of the sky, and then it ceases to exist, and now there's no evidence that it ever happened. Okay, but the other thing is that if it was metal, UFO, but what if it was just a satellite falling out of the sky?
What if it was just a normal sized bird, but with a magnifier on it with it?
Just an enhancement. It was just a bird with something it was just a bird with a Japanese logo on it. They were just testing to
It
see
was just
the
carrying
flag, the Japanese flag, and
It's
it
like-
says "We will rise again" on it, and they just shot it out of the sky because they were concerned it was an actual plane, but it was just a bird that they sent to distract.
Little do we know that bird was the most influential bird years later.
It was the most confusing thing to ever talk about. All right, now that we've got the theories, mass hysteria. Let's move on to the next topic.
That also has to do with mass hysteria.
that also has to do with what people thought this was mass hysteria. The dancing
Or demon
plague.
possession. It could have been demons.
That's the other
also
thing.
the thing.
I was thinking about that. I was like, what if it was just a mass possession? Like a bunch of people got really possessed and started firing
They
things
are
in the
legion.
sky.
Started flying.
No, they started acting like they started shooting in the sky because they were just possessed. They had no control.
Oh,
A beam of light and one
Sam just said they got possessed and started levitating, and everyone got scared and shot them down. Like
That's
it was
what
just
I'm saying. You just see a beam of light, and
I mean,
you just see
some
one
random
man
dude named
floating
Rob
inside
suddenly
of
started
it.
flying, and they got scared, so they shot him down rather than actually seeing what was going on. No.
No, if I saw human floating out.
What if it was someone returning to heaven? What
That
if it was
would
Jesus?
the ascension. No,
What if that was when Jesus was supposed
no.
to return? But someone tried to shoot him
Someone
down. So
returned.
he's like, I'm
That-
I'm out, guys. I'll
That's
see you
broken.
next century.
the dancing plague of 1518, or the dance
yes.
epidemic of 1518. All right, this is where this is gonna be weird. This is a really weird change in topics.
I can imagine it already.
This
also could be
epidemic-
aliens.
This dancing plague was a case of dancing mania that occurred in Strasbourg, Alsace. I don't know how you say that. Modern day France, in other words, in the Holy Roman Empire from July 1518 to September 1518, which means this lasts like 2 to 3 months, like legit. Somewhere between 50 and 400 people took to dancing for weeks. All right, let's explain more about this. So
I'm sorry, but that's not.
further reading.
Continue.
Events. The outbreak began in July 1518 when a woman began to dance fervently in a street in Strasbourg. By early September, the outbreak began to subside. Historical documents, including physician notes, cathedral sermons, which is meaning the church was preaching on this at some point during this event. The church decided they needed to say something. That
Yeah, because it's freaking demon possession.
exactly. All right.
Yes,
That means they had to really rebuke these
Man. Demons
demons.
wanted to dance, bro.
Local
about
and
they wanted-
regional
yeah.
They know how to
chronicles.
move.
Yeah, local and regional chronicles, and even notes issued by Strasbourg City Council are clear that the victims danced. It is not known why. Like,
I have to know though.
Were they all doing one dance, or was it
that's
like
what I'm
separate dances?
were they doing like a
It was
big
just
square
applause.
dance or like a line dance, or were they just legitimately dancing? Like, is this like
They're just
everyone
walking
started just
with,
dancing
sorry,
at random
good?
They
times?
just started doing best mates. There's just a conga line of best mates.
And was it a good dance though?
I probably wasn't. This is the 1500s.
What
They
is
Yeah.
that?
they probably were just the earliest version of the whip.
No,
Oh gosh,
dude,
guys, he knows
that's how
we're
they
here.
started knocking people unconscious. Anyway,
Yeah, like the punch.
No. So you got this whole idea, right? So they don't know why they were dancing. Historical sources
They were-
agree that there was an outbreak of dancing after a single woman started dancing. Of course, it would be a single woman.
Of course.
A group of mostly
Wait,
young
does that
women
mean-
joined.
else could
Hold
it
on.
be?
She was single. Wait, does that mean one woman or that she was single?
It could. I want to believe that it was both. It was a single
Listen,
woman that
It's-
started
she was the
dancing.
She was the earliest version of a gay man. So
No. This is no. That's not. How does that even work?
What
Dude?
does that
Stop
have to
trying
do
to
with
insert
anything,
gay men
Sam?
into my
How does
podcast.
that do
All
I
right.
don't even know,
I'm
like-
cutting this out. Anyway, start back over. We're talking about a single woman. Of course, it was a single woman. A group of mostly young women joined in, and of course, yes, because when one white woman starts doing something, all white
said
women
they were
join in.
white.
To be honest, I don't think
You're
it's
talking
a
about
disease.
Roman
I
Empire.
think
There's
it's
no
just-
telling what their race was. I just think that if you were to apply it to modern day
I don't
history,
think it was a disease. I think it was just moms dancing.
No, listen. No, they were like.
That's how the dance moms
hang on,
started.
let me finish.
People died.
Yeah, let me finish
dancing,
reading.
man.
Let me
They
finish.
died dancing.
Yeah, so there was a group of mostly young women joined in, and the dancing did not seem to die down. It lasted for such a long time that it attracted the attention of the Strasbourg magistrate and bishop, and some number of doctors ultimately intervened, putting the afflicted in hospital. Events similar to this are said to have occurred throughout the medieval age, including 11th century, not going to try and pronounce that, Saxony, where it was believed to be the cause of demonic possession or divine judgment, which is a strange way for the Lord to do his judgment. In the 15th century, Apulia,
It was
Italy.
France, though, so that makes sense.
Yeah. A woman was bitten by a tarantula, the venom making her dance convulsively. The only way to cure the bite was to shimmy and to have the right sort of music available, which was accepted by which was an accepted remedy by scholars. I'm sorry, there was a group of people that said dancing because you got bit by a tarantula was the correct way to escape the poison.
You couldn't stop dancing until you heard the right music to dance to. That's what I'm saying.
The only way to
Alright,
stop dancing was to sing.
So
the right music.
and I continue going because it's not done. Veracity of deaths.
Wait, hold up. Could you imagine the cure to like cancer and all that stuff would be dancing?
Dude, let's be honest. That would not surprise me at this point.
Listen,
No. All right,
but
there
it
were
can't be-
deaths in this event. All right. Controversy exists over whether people ultimately danced themselves to death. Some.
What a way to go.
They couldn't drink water.
I mean, legit. That is, if you're gonna go, that's one of the ways to go. I'm not even gonna lie.
How they
Yeah,
went
I
out? How they went out? They didn't. They died.
I
From
would die
dancing.
dancing.
Listen, the reason they died is because they couldn't grab water or food. Their body would not stop dancing.
Yeah.
Their arms flailing everywhere. They try to go for a drink. It's just like
fatigue.
this is
so
the cup.
good.
You're just holding it like this, and you're shaking
Yeah.
it. Not.
Some sources claim that for a period, the plague killed around 15 people per day. Holy
per
smokes.
day.
Per day. And it
Per
lasted
day.
2 months. That's 60 days. It knocked out. You're talking 60 days times 15 people. Like,
I can't do math.
it's up
attempt it.
there. We did do the calculator. It was like, what, 800 something?
It was
It was
something
relatively
like
in
that.
that ballpark.
Could you
Anyway,
imagine 800 people dancing just
to
like
death.
and
Yeah.
then they start dropping just like
Like
I
flies.
wonder if they're doing the same dance over and over again and then died, or like kept changing it up. I wonder what dance they died on.
I know. I want to know what dance.
I want to
It's a
look
death
now.
song.
Some part of me,
It's
after we
coffin
get
dance.
into
It's
this,
a coffin dance.
Walked away.
Like
It's a
coffin
dance you can't
dance.
stop
The
doing.
coffin dance. Too.
yeah, hold on, let me
It's the
finish.
illegal
They just did this.
But the sources of the city
I
of
don't know why.
Strasbourg at the time of the events did not mention the number of deaths, or even if there were fatalities. Which means all of this could have been just straight up made up, which would be even more.
Which it
But like,
probably
but
was.
no,
That
I'm
would
not even gonna lie.
nice.
Who would make this up? Like,
Right?
tell me, like,
See-
the only people I can think of making this up were also the same people that would have ended up dead doing this. So like,
It's too strange for fantasy.
right? Like, this is too
It's gotta be
specific.
reality.
It's got date, it's got location, it's got details, there's sources. There's no freaking way this was a
No
made
one
up
spent
event.
their life.
There were people
Someone-
that legit spent time debating this event and thought about whether or not it's public history. I'm so concerned.
Planet. We really do.
They
I
do
do
not.
not up one
Sometimes
day and be
we
like, you know
just
what?
think
I
about it.
heard this thing one time, and now I'm gonna write about it and
Yeah.
make up this whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I
I'm
can't
going
imagine.
There
to
do
make a
not
story
appear-
where people kill themselves
Yeah.
dancing.
There do not appear to be any sources I don't even know how to say it. Contemporaneous to the events that make note of any fatalities. The main source for the claim is John Waller, who has written several journal articles on the subject, and the book A Time to Dance, A Time to Die, which sounds like a really good book now after reading this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this
Yeah,
on, I'm gonna look this up on Audible, yeah, and start listening to it
Right.
at work and just seeing the extraordinary.
Well, did
story of
they
dance
go
celebrates.
through different stages of dance?
Look, I'm
Like,
getting
did
ready
they-
to
like,
look
the
up
Wicked
theories.
Nay-Nay,
We're getting
then
ready
it
to
was
look
like
up
the-
theories. We're getting ready to look
I
up
know.
theories.
Then it was like
real
the
quick, real quick. I have
you.
something real quick. Let me real quick. I know what they dance to. If there's a song playing, I know what they dance to.
If it wasn't
Line up.
by the way, if it wasn't the
Listen,
Village
listen,
People's YMCA,
listen.
because let's be honest, they would have been
No.
around in
No,
early
no.
century Rome. Like,
I know what they did. They violently shook their head to dance till you're dead.
the bangover. That's what they died to, a bangover.
Have any of you heard "Dance Till You're Dead"?
No, and
Or
I
Gateman
honestly,
Style.
This song.
no.
Dance.
No, I'm still thinking. Like, let's be honest though, the Village People YMCA would have definitely been around during the Empire, the Roman Empire ruling, because like the Village People
Listen
aren't
to
that
Carol.
old. No, but anyway,
Let's just-
so let's go to modern theories. All right.
John, how did you do that? You said that they would have been around. The Village People would have been around in the early centuries, and then you said, but they're not that old.
No, I said they're that old. That's what I said.
Oh,
They're
I heard
probably
it
that
wrong.
old. No.
They're actually
So here you go.
aliens themselves.
So there's theories. There's food poisoning theory. There's the stress-induced mass hysteria theory.
That's what,
I get to
There's
dancing.
definitely more than that, but I'll get to it in a second. Some believe the dancing
Dude.
could have been brought on by. Okay, hold up. Before I read these, only because I'm going to transition with the theories. So Jake, what's your theory on what happened? Like exactly what happened?
demon possession.
Straight
That's the
up.
only logical explanation. Demon possession.
Saying
Demon
800 or more people got
The demons wanted to dance. The demons wanted to
To
dance.
what?
I mean, they
What
possessed
song?
I don't know.
pigs in the Bible, so it's entirely possible.
Exactly. They are
I
legion.
agree with that. And who says demons can't have fun? Like,
Oh my
Like,
god.
ever
They're
since-
doomed to hell for
listen.
eternity. Why not have a little dance party?
yeah, like
And take a few
before
people
you
with you,
go,
why
you're gonna
don't you?
die- You're gonna
Take some
die on
people with
eventually.
you.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Enjoy it
No.
while it lasts.
No, the people that died were the people that enjoyed it.
I don't know if they enjoyed it.
Wow, that's
It was
rough.
At that time, it was literally just
No,
a
they,
child.
they said they were like crying and screaming while they were dancing.
Yeah, the
That's-
normal
Yeah,
people
they
were
were
just
they were in
sounds
pain.
horrible.
crying like, no,
That
please
sounds
stop.
horrible. I thought
Please
it would
stop
be
this.
like,
I want-
just dancing and then dead.
Yeah.
It's just flawed.
Um. Anyway, so there's this.
They still dance to this
There's
day.
like the dab is just like, ugh.
All right. So we think it's demon possession. I have one other theory.
Aliens.
No. I'm saying that it was
Drugs.
that it was LSD. Like legitimately,
Yeah.
they were drugging people
And
so much
food.
that they actually couldn't control.
Well, you know,
their
people
mind
use
and
drugs
bodies.
as like, they use drugs as like medicine.
Yeah. Well, think about
But-
it. Like,
so
there's different
honestly,
types
they
of
could've.
drugs that like specifically spark areas in your mind that would do things. Like, I know LSD is one of them. There's another one. It's that one. It's called it's a euphoria drug. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Okay, so
Got it.
I've actually
Give it a
heard
theory,
that
Jake.
apparently on certain drugs you can see these little like creatures, or not little. I don't know if they're little or if they're big or whatnot,
Yeah.
and that's demons.
Really?
So it's a combination of the two.
Oh,
They're
dang.
on drugs with the demons, because
That's a really good theory, actually. They were demons possessed.
like
The
no
demons
joke,
possessed the
there's a
actual
name
drug
for it.
itself.
Where are
People
you?
who are on like
On-
people who are on.
First,
I don't
where
remember
are
what
you?
I don't remember what the
Those
specific.
demons in the form of drugs that wanted to boogie.
Yes, they used drugs so that they could possess. Like, there is so many different ways you could put that. It's all incredibly funny either way, and also the fact that there was an entire plague
Well,
of
it's not
dancing.
that funny because people. If this is
Well,
true,
yeah, people
died.
if people died, but like, I mean, let's be honest, it was during the Roman Empire rule, so everything that happened in the Roman Empire rule was janked up anyway. So like, people dying to dance just kind of goes under the rug of things that happened during the Roman
I thought it
Empire
was
rule.
later. Didn't it say it was like? Didn't it say it was like 1500? Wasn't it later?
Yeah, it was 1500, so it would have been on the decline of Rome. So like, Rome would have been
When
on
did
the
it?
decline.
When did Rome? Hold on. Sure, because
No, maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. I know it mentioned something about the Roman Empire, but I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
when
Who was it was in modern day.
that was because that's a little bit late. Because like even in the 12th, because like if you think about it, AD was when that was like from when Jesus was born. Jesus died and was like what was he like 30 something years old, and so then if you have if that was like 1500, that it didn't last. Let's see.
What?
Yeah.
Why did this
It
go?
was
Why did this go from dancing to your dead to when was the Roman Empire
it
created?
was 476.
What? And then it went to Christianity.
Maybe
Let's go.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
476.
The
yeah.
dancing plague to the Roman Empire just by
That's
itself.
important, all right? When you like history as much as I do, that's important facts. All right?
You haven't even gotten me into Sam's
I'll
theory.
make these, all right? Bro.
Sam has not given his theory. I haven't given my theory.
Isaiah won't stop bothering me.
I did have a theory. I told
Okay.
you my theory.
What was your theory?
It was drugs.
Yeah, it was drugs. That was literally
No, you
exactly
didn't.
what I did.
Let me think. What's a
Well,
good
because we were
theory?
thinking the same
Timothy,
thing.
come
I
on,
answered-
be original
Um,
here. Something we haven't thought of. Demons and drugs, something other than that. And not
What if-
aliens, come on.
What if
Goes to
the
Well,
Roman
question: was it
governor-
only women dancing?
Okay,
No, they
fine.
said it was a group of. It was everyone. It was a whole bunch of
What if,
people.
what if the Roman government was forcing them to do it? What
Then
if
we already
the
established the
whole time
Roman
they
I
would-
was
following.
about to say the Romans
Yeah,
are gone.
for the whole 3 months,
It would have
they were
been
told to dance to dance for
Whatever
so
the country.
this amount of
Strasbourg,
people.
Strasbourg City
I don't remember what it
Council.
said the name of the country was at that point.
It was
Like,
Alsace.
they forced them.
It was, yeah. So
They-
so you're saying the government?
Well, listen,
It was the
they forced
government.
them all to dance, and whoever enjoyed it, they killed.
Whoever enjoyed. So they basically, if they
So-
had a good time, they murdered them.
Yeah, that's what the Roman Empire was for, John.
So I mean, it's yet another
Having a bad
cover-up looking
time.
story. So it is entirely possible for a lot of random crud to happen. But
So basically, the Roman
yeah.
thing or something.
All right. So we've come up with our conspiracy theories. Now for me to read off the theories that they came up with, and then this is where I'll transition to one of our last topics. Some believe the dancing could have been brought on by food poisoning caused by the toxic and psychoactive chemical products of ergo fungi, or ergotism, which grows commonly on grains such as rye, used for baking bread. Ergotamine is the main psychoactive product. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of this right, but I'm going with it anyway. Ergo fungi is the structurally related to the drug LSD, which is exactly why I believe this theory. And is the substance from which LSD was originally synthesized. The same fungus has also been implicated in other major historical anomalies, including the Salem witch trials.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I'm gonna come back to that.
This is kind of random. But Vikings. They're what was the name of? I don't remember the exact kind of Viking that did. They would actually eat those or I don't know if it was the same mushroom or whatnot, but they would get high off mushrooms and then they'd go into battle and just wreck people.
Yeah, dang. That mean you can think about it. If you get high on something enough, you can just like lose full control over your mind and body almost, and it's just
Right, you can there's
absolutely
limiters that keep you from helping you or
Yeah.
from hurting yourself in your body, and if you get high enough, that's probably turn off,
Exactly. All right.
and then you're just
So keep in mind, I'm going to come
Dancing
back to
till you're
this. In the Lancet, John Waller argues that this is another one that John Waller wrote. Argues that this theory does not seem tenable, since it is unlikely that those poisoned by ergo could have danced for days at a time, nor would so many people have reacted to its psychotropic chemicals in the same way. The ergotism theory also fails to explain why virtually every outbreak occurred somewhere along the Rhine and Moselle rivers, areas linked by water but with quite different climates and crops. Then the other theory, stress-induced mass hysteria. This could have been a florid example of psychogenic movement disorder happening in a mass hysteria or mass hysteria psychogenic illness, which involves many individuals suddenly exhibiting the same bizarre behavior, also known as demon possession. The behavior spreads rapidly and broadly in an epidemic pattern. This kind of comportment could have been caused by elevated levels of psychological stress caused by the ruthless years, even by the rough standards of the early modern period the people of Alsace were suffering. Waller speculates that the dancing was stress-induced psychosis on a mass level, since the region where the people danced was riddled with starvation and disease, and the inhabitants tended to be superstitious. So, in other words, demon possession. 7 other cases of dancing plague were reported in the same region during the medieval era. The psychogenic illness could have created chorea, from the Greek chorea, meaning to dance, or chorea. I don't know how you say that word. A situation comprising random and intricate, unintentional movements that flit from body part to body part. Diverse and choreas. I don't know how you say that word. Were labeled in the Middle Ages, referring to the independent epidemics of the dancing mania that happened in Central Europe, particularly at the time of the plague. So for mass hysteria, we're going to move to yet another weird event that your body creates. Tanganyika laughter epidemic.
Oh, this is new. I didn't look this one.
This is the one. This was the one I added in because I was gonna end on Salem witch trials because I think that's gonna be the funniest of all of them.
Oh god, yes it is.
Tanganyika laughter epidemic. The Tanganyika laughter epidemic of 1962 was an outbreak of mass hysteria or mass psychogenic illness rumored to have occurred in or near the village of Kashasha on the western coast of Lake Victoria in Tanganyika, which, once united with Zanzibar, became the modern-day nation of Tanzania near the border with Uganda. All right, this one isn't particularly hilarious because obviously it's laughing, but like, it gets so incredibly wild what happens in this entire event. So first you start off, the laughter epidemic began on January 31st, 1962, which means there are people still alive today that would have seen this happen.
Wait, when was it? 1962?
Yeah, 1962, which means they wouldn't.
Dad
They
was
would be
2
exactly.
years younger.
There could be people up
Older.
in their 90s that would have actually witnessed or heard about this.
Which there are. Like,
Yes, my grandmother would have been alive during this.
John, you said
My dad
1960?
was only 3 years away from being born, 1962.
I was about to say.
At a mission-run boarding school for the girls in Kashasha, it started with 3 girls and spread throughout the whole school, affecting 95 of the 159 pupils aged 12 to 18. Symptoms lasted for a few hours to 16 days.
16
Was it like-
days.
Yes, it
like-
could last. It means
like-
you could be laughing for a few hours or for 2 whole straight weeks.
Dude, after like
So wait,
2 minutes
was
of
it like-
laughing hard, I'm dead. Like,
so was it
Yeah, my
like?
stomach will like cramp up with like laughing
Yeah, exactly.
for a minute.
oh.
So, 2 things real quick. Was it like an actual laugh where they just like I can't even tell. Like, was it like an actual laugh or like a painful laugh? Like the
I
laughs
don't
you
know.
make when you're
We'll
like.
get through.
Well, I
when
was
I get
thinking
to that.
vision of painful.
Yeah,
Another
like,
thing,
because
I gotta
anything you
point
laugh,
After
if
a
you
bit,
laugh for a
the other thing
distance, your stomach and your throat
I'm
start
sorry.
to feel so
I have to
tense.
point this out. Sam and his camera make him look like a chat. His,
Oh my
his
God.
facial features are so defined.
All right. Anyway, so the teaching staff were unaffected, which is also wild about this because it means it avoided all the teachers. It only hit the students.
It only
None
hit
of
children.
the teachers had this happen.
They just wanted off
Biased
of school. They
question
just
mark.
didn't want to get to school.
And reported that
Those
students were
teachers-
unable to
those teachers
concentrate
are
on their
like-
lessons. The school closed on March 18th. So
That was
it's,
their plan. They
Yes.
just wanted the school to close
the
down.
laughter epidemic began on January 31st, 1962, and it closed not even a month and a half later on March 18th. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the funniest way I have ever seen something closed down. There's no way, like, think about it. There's so many things that you could, like, they'll close a school because maybe there's, a shooting go on, or maybe there's a breakout of disease. But whatever you put there. This school closed because more than half of the students in the school broke out in laughter for so long that they couldn't focus on anything. Now, part of me is wondering as well if these
thought you
students were
couldn't
just
breathe.
straight up, like, rebellious, and they just had to come up with an idea to just absolutely get rid of the school.
I already have a theory on it if Jonathan
They
doesn't
laughed
use
to
it.
their death because they didn't want to go to
I'm about to
school?
actually find this out if there was any deaths in this. I don't think.
I would
there
think you
was.
couldn't breathe when you're laughing.
Here's
Like,
what's funnier. The epidemic spread to Nshamba, a village where several of the women lived, in April and May. 217 mostly young villagers had laughing attacks. The Kasasha school reopened on May 21st and reclosed at the end of June. They made it. You're kidding me. This actually happened. There's no way. That means that they, in the span of 6 months, opened, and closed the school again, all because of a laughter epidemic.
I already have a
What?
theory. When we start theories, I have a theory.
It's not even done. It says that it earlier that month the laughing epidemic spread to Shenye Girls Middle School near Bakoba, affecting 48 girls. Why was it specifically girls' schools, and how was it this many?
That's a good.
Like, this almost feels like it was some sort of
They're the
attack.
teachers' men.
I don't. Why would you say that?
Oh, no.
Gosh, that's horrible. The Kashasha school was sued for allowing the children and their parents to transmit it into the surrounding area. Other schools, Kashasha itself, and another village were affected to some degree. The phenomenon died off 18 months after it started. That means this went on for a year and a half. I'm sorry. What? This lasted longer than the dancing stuff.
Yeah.
They were widely accompanied by descriptions of pain, fainting, respiratory problems, I would assume, Rashes and crying. Yeah, that all makes sense. Because if you're laughing that hard, you're going to have respiratory problems. You're going to have pain. You're going to faint. I don't know how the
Crying it makes
rashes get involved, unless you're just trying to stop laughing by choking yourself out or something. And crying, which by the way, laughing hard enough already calls crying anyway. In all 14 schools were shut down and 1,000 people were affected. 14 schools were shut down.
Sam
1,000
left the room.
people
We
were
didn't hear
affected.
garbage.
I'm sorry,
missed
but this is absolutely ridiculous.
You missed stuff, Sam.
How on earth did? Okay, let's jump into the conspiracy theories. All right,
Okay,
Jake,
let me go
let's hear
first.
your.
I already,
Okay,
no,
teach,
let me go
Timothy,
first.
go ahead.
I have one, and John's will probably think of it first. I already know. I think I know exactly who it is.
What?
Joker. And his laugh.
Laugh gas.
Listen, it's the
Laugh
perfect
gas.
theory. His laugh gas was real. He made people laugh way too much on
Yes.
purpose. Killed half of them.
Well, there is. Isn't there such thing as laughing
There's tear
gas?
Yes, there is. It's a form. It's actually deadly, and most of the time, you
But
don't
would
even.
it last that long though?
Yeah. Well, no, it would. But it would have killed you. They may have had like a form of this where it didn't, but today they have it.
Like they
Laughing
took it in, like
gas.
small portions.
I mean, it could be that it could have been that they were affected, but for it to have been only girls' schools and it was only
And the
across
lot more
1,000
young
people.
ones, like middle school.
Why does this sound like those
like,
weird
that's
diseases?
just
Yeah.
weird.
Like this legit sounds like it was designed to attack a certain gender and a certain age. Like there was no reports of it being any of the teachers didn't get any. There was
No
no
more
men
children.
reported involved in this. It was all young women and only the women or only the
And
girls' schools that were
girls.
affected. There were 14 of these shut down. 1,000 people were affected by this, and it lasted for 18 months, a year and a half. That means that it, in and of itself,
It's still
had more
surprising
of
that
an
it lasted
effect
for a year.
for a longer period of time than some diseases have. Like, what?
It lasted longer than COVID.
No, it didn't. No, it definitely didn't. But it was up there with maybe the idea of like some of the stuff they would have implied. But like this is another one of those where I question whether or not drugs were involved. Like you never know. They could have been
That's-
drinking the food as a
That's a
strategy.
specific group of people, though.
I know.
That's just weird.
That's what's saying. Like it could have been that maybe like they got something into the lunch food, and some of those maybe the lunch food like maybe the company they buy that lunch food from only goes to serve.
What was
like
it? What,
girls'
what
schools.
country was it?
It was in Tanganyika,
It wasn't in America,
which is
basically.
now Tanzania, or part of Tanzania.
You're saying it's not America, basically.
No, it
yeah,
wouldn't have
it's-
been.
That's like, yeah, that's like.
I feel like they're trying to kill off, like, population.
Yeah, there's part of me that wonders how much of this was involved in trying to get something, either a political agenda
Like-
pushed forward or whatever they were trying to do. But like, this just does not
Sounds
sound.
like a big, because that would not have been a big country. So it sounds like a bigger country was like testing out
yeah,
like, chemical warfare on
Yeah.
them almost.
that's what I'm
Because
wondering.
that's so specific. I wonder if they,
Yeah.
like you said, had the same like lunch or something. Because like
They
like,
could've
what
put
if,
it
like,
in
a
the
big
food.
Yeah,
government
like
had,
another
like,
country was
yeah.
supplying them food.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
The other thing they could have been is.
Yeah, and this is the 1900s, so that's not exactly a crazy idea.
And this is one of the theories I was thinking is, I'm not gonna lie, you were not far off from laughing gas. I'm wondering if maybe like within this, because they're saying it spread, meaning that it was like a disease. Like it wasn't like something that you, like it happened and then like it stopped. It was that it spread between people. So I'm wondering if they put like laughing gas. And then the fumes, like, and they got it almost as like a biology thing. where
Maybe the
maybe-
ingredient.
Well,
Epic
maybe they
ingredient.
formed like a
Like
variant of
only.
it that attacked like a certain group of people. Like you were saying, it's a biological weapon. Maybe they tried to see how many people it affected. The fact that it only didn't really go for adults, and also that it affected mostly girls, and also or I'm wondering if it affected all girls, and only in certain areas and schools were affected. The other theory I had was that this was just another one of those like weird outbreaks of like children or like kids not like getting way too like distracted, and they just like they just wanted to label it something so it didn't sound like just human failure. But that just seems way too normal for that to have been the problem.
Who hasn't had a theory yet, though?
Sam, I don't think I've heard. Or Jake, did I hear yours?
Me and Jake have basically the same one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the whole other governments who like
Yeah.
testing out bio war.
Let's see
Yeah, I
what they
kind of agree
had.
with
They
that.
have
I think that one,
causes here.
I think that one mixes in with mine, to be honest.
So I'm going to read this one off. It says causes. Linguist Christian F. Hempelman, that's a name, has theorized that the episode was stress-induced. In 1962, Tanganyika had just won its independence. Ah, so there you go, country-related. Had just won its independence, he said, and students had reported feeling stressed because of higher expectations by teachers and parents.
Laughing.
MPI, he says, usually occurs in people without a lot of power. MPI is the last resort for people of a low status. It's an easy way for them to express that something is wrong. Wow, so, I mean, yikes, that one aims a little high. You're talking about, this basically is the idea of, it's basically PTSD is essentially what it is. It's the idea of you've had so much stress that it's causing a reaction in your body that it's almost a defense mechanism that the body naturally produces when it's under a lot of stress. But the fact that it kept going throughout this whole, like it was almost like a disease, it still doesn't sound right. Sociologist Robert Bartholomew and psychiatrist Simon Wesley both put forward a culture-specific epidemic hysteria hypothesis, pointing out that the occurrences in the 1960s Africa were prevalent in missionary schools, and Tanganyikan society was ruled by strict traditional elders. So the likelihood is that hysteria was a mass manifestation of the culture dissonance between the traditional conservatism at home and the new ideas challenging those beliefs in schools, which they termed conversion reactions. Yeah. So
That's a lot of fancy words.
yeah, it is. But to me, it basically just boils down to, it sounds to me like if this is the theory and this is legitimately what they believe is the cause, then it just legitimately sounds like PTSD mixed with a lot of power, like a lot of higher power people lording their power over the people of less social status. But yeah, then there's then we go on. So I'm gonna go back to the mass hysteria topic. So these are all things that kind of relate to weird occurrences that mass hysteria could have been involved in. But I'm still gonna go to. We're gonna go back to the one where I said a minute ago about the Salem witch trials. And this is, I think, the last topic we're going to talk about because I think it's absolutely hysterical. All right. This is a doozy because I laughed at this one just reading it. I got to get through this. I got to get through this.
Burned alive. You find that hysterical?
No. You'll find out why. The Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts between February of 1692 and May 1693. More than 200 people were accused. 30 were found guilty, 19 of whom were executed by hanging, 14 women and 5 men, and one other man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death for refusing to plead, and at least 5 people died in jail.
That dude was freaking insane. He was he was super
Let's look at this.
Tough. They kept on saying it on there. He was talking about it not being a lot of weight and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually they just put too much on him and it crushed him.
Dang.
But he refused to say anything about
That's
it.
crazy.
Bodybuilder.
So, but here's the thing. All right, I'm going to kind of skim over this because there's a lot of reading, but there's it says arrests were made in numerous towns beyond Salem and Salem Village, known as today as Danvers, notably Andover and Topsfield. And the grand juries and trials for the capital crime were conducted by a court of Oyer and Terminer in 1692 by a superior court of judicature. I don't know how you say that word. Or judicature, I don't know how you say that word. I'm not even going to try it again. In 1693, both held in Salem town, where the hangings also took place. It was deadliest witch hunt in the history of colonial North America. Only 14 other women and 2 men had been executed in Massachusetts and Connecticut during the 17th century. This is what's funny. This episode is one of colonial America's most notorious cases of mass hysteria. That means that this is basically just a bunch of people convinced that they were demon possessed. Like, or they had sold their soul to the devil for, to become a witch or for the granted powers. It has been used in political rhetoric and popular literature as a vivid cautionary tale about the dangers of isolationism, religious extremism, false accusations, and lapses in due process. And we read on. Here we go. At the 300th anniversary of events in 1992 to commemorate the victims of the trials, a park was dedicated in Salem and a memorial in Danvers. In 1957, an act passed by Massachusetts legislature absolved 6 people, while another one passed in 2001 absolved 5 other victims. Wait a minute. Does that mean? What does absolve mean here? Someone describe it. I'm an idiot. Someone describe what that means.
It sounds like they were saying that they were not actually, like, people went back in, like, more recent times and said that those guys actually weren't witches. So, like, they unconvicted them. They were like, nah, I think they were wrong about that. I think those guys are actually not witches.
Wait a minute. So it took them, like, 400 years almost, 300 years, for them to finally come to the conclusion that they weren't witches after they already put them to death.
Wow, what a help it is now.
What on earth? What is this?
That one time that we thought those were witches? That's not
No,
true.
they aren't witches now. That was all for a joke, guys. We were doing it for the bit. That's what that sounds like. It legitimately sounds like we didn't mean that. That was an accident. As of 2004, here's what's weird. As of 2004, there was still talk about exonerating all of the victims. Though some think that happened in the 18th century as the Massachusetts colonial legislature was asked to reverse the attainders of George Burroughs and others. In January 2016, the University of Virginia announced its Gallows Hill Project team had determined the execution site in Salem where the 19 witches had been hanged. The city dedicated to Proctor's Legend Memorial to the victims there in 2017. This all sounds so again. We're trying too hard to solve problems that don't need to be solved. Like, no one asked you to exonerate a bunch of people put to death for witchcraft.
Right, that's what
nearly
government's
300
really worried
years
about.
later. That's so upsetting. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh no, accusations. Here's where we get it. So they have the idea of the trials and all that junk. Let me read off a little bit here. Well, witch trials had begun to fade out across much of Europe by the mid-17th century. They continued on the fringes of Europe and the American colonies. The events in 1992 and 1693 in Salem became a brief outburst of a sort of hysteria in the New World, while the practice was already waning off in most of Europe. In 1668, against modern Sadducism, I don't know what that is, Joseph Glanville claimed that he could prove the existence of witches and the ghosts of supernatural realm. So basically, he was wasting his time because inevitably all he was going to find was demons. Glanville wrote about the denial of the bodily resurrection and the supernatural spirits. In his treatise, Glanville claimed that ingenious men should believe in witches and apparitions if they doubted the reality of spirits. They not only denied demons, but also the Almighty God. Glanville wanted to prove that the supernatural could not be denied. Those who did deny apparitions were considered heretics, and for it also disproved their beliefs in angels. So basically, he was saying if you didn't believe in the idea of witches, that you didn't believe in any of it. Which I think is absolutely hysterical that he took time out of his day to be like, hey guys, so if you actually believe witches are real, you should also believe in God, because otherwise you're broke in logic. But yeah, no, here we go. Accusations. The trials were started after people had been accused of witchcraft, primarily by teenage girls.
I'm not surprised.
What is it with today and all these
And women.
what was it with young
It's
women?
always freaking females, ain't it?
I know, every single thing we've read off today. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it, but it's just hysterical that a good majority of the problems we've caused were women's fault. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, there's a common denominator here. I ain't implying anything with this, but
I mean, I'm not implying, but I'm also kind of directly saying.
It's history.
I mean, it speaks for itself. If Wiki has any accuracy at all.
Listen. Eve told Adam to eat the fruit. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that.
Holy smokes! He really went after him there. Anyway,
Dang.
man. Okay, so here's what's worse. It gives a specific couple. So they said it was primarily by teenage girls such as Elizabeth Hubbard. Words. 17. She was 17 years old, accusing people of witchcraft. Holy smokes! As well as some who were younger. Dorothy Good was 4 or 5 years old when she was accused of witchcraft. What?
Yeah, yeah. That's awful.
That's horrible.
Okay.
Little children.
So I think I read this
Accused.
wrong. I apologize to people, but I think it was actually that the teenage girls were the ones
Yeah, the
accused.
girls were accused of
I
it.
thought they
Yeah,
were
they
the
were
ones
accused.
accusing. I was like, holy smokes.
Well, I mean, women are
They
still the
still
problem.
doesn't change the fact that women were.
they were being accused of being
Still.
well, that's like, what kind of okay? In every movie you've ever watched since like witches became entertaining, have they ever been male witches? Like,
They're usually just wizards.
Those are warlocks.
yes, I was about to say there's
Or
an entirely
wizard.
different term. Yeah. Recorded witchcraft execution in New England. There was a couple in there. Political context. Here we go. This is where we find out how demented society was when this happened. New England had been settled by religious dissenters seeking to build a Bible-based society according to their own chosen discipline. The original 1629 Royal Charter of the Massachusetts Bay Colony was vacated in 1684, after which King James II installed Sir Edmund Andros as the governor of the Dominion of New England. Andros was ousted in 1689 after the Glorious
Oh
Revolution.
yeah, I guess it was before.
Yeah, this was before
they
we claimed independence.
Yeah.
After the Glorious Revolution in England replaced the Catholic James II with the Protestant co-rulers William and Mary. Simon Bradstreet and Thomas Danforth, the colony's last leaders under the old charter. Hold on, let me read it. I'm just going to skip ahead because there's a lot of reading. Let's see if there's anything important in here. Basically, they're just saying over and over again that this was all just because of a shift of leaders trying to gain. Basically, election year was happening during all of this happening.
Of course.
Yeah. That's the only way this would ever be. That's the only way this would ever happen, is if there was just actual like shifts in power being done.
Yeah, like Corona.
Yeah, exactly. Each time there's been an outbreak of something, there's always been something. Gender context. Okay, now I really want to know this. We're going to read this. An overwhelming majority of people accused and convicted of witchcraft were women, about 78%. Overall, the Puritan belief and prevailing New England culture was that women were inherently sinful, and more susceptible to damnation than men were. Wow, this is really going at it. Throughout their daily lives, Puritans, especially Puritan women, actively attempted to thwart attempts by the devil to overtake them and their souls. Indeed, Puritans held the belief that men and women were equal in the eyes of God, but not in the eyes of the devil. Wow. Well, that explains a lot, actually. Women's souls were seen as unprotected in their weak and vulnerable bodies. Whoa. Several factors may explain why women were more likely to admit guilt of witchcraft than men. The concept of women just giving up, even though they know they aren't, is just really funny to me. They were like, I'm done fighting, just kill me already. I am a witch. Remove me from this world. Like,
and then they were hung.
Oh my gosh. Wait, let's see. This
Or
gets
burned
worse.
to stake.
Historian Elizabeth Rice asserts that some likely believe that they had truly given in to. So they were tricked. They were legitimately tricked by their own sentence. And others might have believed that they had done so temporarily. However, because those who confessed were reintegrated into society, some women might have confessed in order to spare their own lives, which I think is considerably like a good idea, especially if it's witchcraft. Like if you're not guaranteed death, if you fight against it and then you're accused of it and you get hung, why? But if they're like, if you admit to it now, we'll let you live, but you have to go to prison. I'd be like, I'm gonna go to prison. Of course I'm a witch. Let me go to prison so that I can still be alive by the end of the day. That's really good. That's really good. Let's see if there's any more crap going on here. Bibliography? Hold up. Oh no, this is just
To
a
be
bunch of
honest,
references.
I'm
Never
fine
mind.
with keep going with more stuff if you find any.
This is the
Well,
ending.
no.
But no.
This will be the end because
So this is
I'm
the
gonna do it
last. This
quick.
is the last topic. No, but let's go with let's go off on this tangent really quick. All right. This is why I found this hysterical. I'm going to remove the historical context and put you in the minds of these people. All right. So you're talking in mass hysteria, where people believe that witches actually existed. All right, and that they were possessed. That there were people who actually would sell their soul to the devil for higher, like, to be given supernatural powers, temporarily or whatever it was, the deal that they were made. All right. The reason I find this hysterical is that means that not only did a good majority of the people believe this, but the court justices that sentenced them to their death also believed this, and they had power in the situation. I'm thinking two things. One is, like, how gullible do you have to be in this age? Like mass hysteria is obvious, like now, but like back then, like, come on. If they started like accusing someone of being a witch today, they'd be like, "You're wild, you're wild." But like back then, it was just normal.
No, I don't know. People nowadays, if you in any time in human history, if you can get people whipped up into a mob, they'll do about anything. You just gotta
That's
know
true.
the right buttons to push.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's
And then
modernly
they'll
done
just go off.
today in the protests you see around. Like, legit, they get them into a mob, and that's exactly what's
And it, like,
happening now.
half the people don't even know what the heck they're talking about or what they're
Exactly.
protesting. They'll just be out there. Just
I've
to be
seen
out there. Just because they saw
so
somebody
many
break a
videos.
window, they'll go break a window too.
Yeah, so we go back to now. Let's reconnect this back to the Salem witch trials and the idea that means that, like, once again, history repeats itself in different forms every time because people lose sight of history. There was a point in history where people believe witches exist. Now there's a point in history where people believed that, like,
This was North Carolina.
whatever the political thing that they're trying to push, I'm not going to say because I am live on stream, but they'll believe anything you push at them. And it doesn't, and then they'll just follow it blindly. They won't even look into it. So the idea, the same here with the witch trials, is the funniest thing about this to me is that there was people who died to this, and then they get exonerated later, after they are dead for 100 or more years. Like,
Thanks, I've been a lot.
look,
Man.
I
We
mean,
should have been
I'm not
there
gonna
100
lie.
years ago.
I'd roll over in my grave if I found out somehow in heaven that I was murdered for being a witch, and then 300 years later, they said I was innocent after I was dead. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna turn my body over in the grave just so that I don't have to face the society that I lived in. Like,
I live in a society.
what kind of that's like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This to me this was funny because it's basically them saying, yeah, no, we burned you at the stake, or we hung you in front of people, but now, just so that we can disrespect you more, we're going to say, yeah, no, you were innocent the whole time. Like, that's just like,
So,
that's
like,
legitimately
I could have got
pouring
you could've-
salt in the
You could have
wound.
gone out and be like, yeah, I died a witch, but now they're like, actually, you weren't. So
You just
You
died
definitely
because they
were.
thought you were a
Freaking cool.
witch.
you were so ugly that
You convinced people that you had magic powers because you made this weird drug called LSD, which made a bunch of people laugh and dance, and now they consider you a
Yeah.
witch, and now you die. I still think all of these weird historical events are they're comedic today, but you can draw the comparisons. You can draw
Comparison.
the comparisons. Yes, the words come out of me sometimes. And I think that if you
Sometimes.
do, you can compare it, and you can really boil it down to the base idea and realize that history does repeat itself in different forms. But you can also make it legitimately a joke, and just absolutely have fun with the ideas that, like, oh, these people have been dead for centuries. There's no one here who can get offended by it, unless they are actually a witch. And I'm sorry.
all comedy comes from tragedy.
Tragedy
So-
plus time is comedy, and that's exactly why we were talking about things that happened between the
Million years
of
ago.
1500 and 1962.
When was the
Yeah,
supposed
but no one
alien
died in
space
the
one?
laughing one. I don't
No, they
think.
didn't, which
what
is
was the-
exactly
what
why
was
we can
that?
make fun of it.
When was the Los Angeles war again?
You're talking about the Battle of Los Angeles. That one was in
Yeah.
1940s.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because it was
still-
right during the World War.
Wait.
So it was 1942,
Yeah,
I believe.
1942.
It was
Ron,
right after
Grandma-
we got integrated
No, I
into the
think.
World War.
Wait, no, no.
She
I
wouldn't
don't
have
think
been
I will.
around, I don't think. Let me see if I can remember.
She's almost 80. I think she's
Yeah, so
79.
she might would have been born while we were still in the war, but I don't know if she would have been around. Like, I don't think she would have been around 1942. I could be wrong, but I mean,
Well,
she could have been on the verge of being born in that year. But either way, yeah. So that was an interesting trail of events. We covered a whole lot. I think the next podcast I'm gonna just center the focus on one and go really deep into detail on some of them. But I also think
Yeah.
the idea of next podcast doing a more improv based one would be good as well. But we'll
make
see.
up your own
We'll
one.
see.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time.
Oh, you can
I need
play
like
stuff or
um I need like a good outro theme. This part's getting cut out. I need a good outro. How the frick can I do that?
Sam, you need to get the dog out.
Yeah, I know. You could just honestly just
Mario.
like cut it off and just add like some type of like theme music that you're gonna have.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You can just like fade out slowly, like us
Yeah.
talking, and then like just music.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good. Well, that
Or
was a
you can
good
be like,
time.
this was blank blank podcast, and then
Yeah.
just be like slowly fading out.
Exactly. Well, that was a good time. I'm hoping it saves the whole VOD, because that would be great.
you have to save it, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna hop off stream. I'm gonna stay in the
Oh,
call
yeah.
for a minute though, because I think we're gonna do something else. But yeah.
Are we
hop off
gonna do the